So, in '98, I ran my first marathon and did rather poorly, and that led to me doing a second rock and roll marathon. OG
Bill
Mania.
Aaron, with his long Forrest Gump beard and rock and roll running jacket, looks exactly like what you'd expect of a legacy runner, meaning he's never missed a single race.
And then kind of decided that I was sort of enmeshed in it, and no, I did three, and I did four, and then in five they gave us a really sweet patch for being a legacy runner, and one thing led to another.
And then he kept racing for 23 years. But then COVID came, and the event that's normally held every June was canceled.
On the one hand, my body felt enriched by the fact that I wasn't banging out these obnoxious Saturday runs, but on the other hand, it felt a little weird because I wasn't engaged like I normally would be.
The June 2021 race also didn't happen. It was postponed to this October 24th. And when runners line up in Balboa Park, Aaron will be there, even though he's not used to running a fall marathon.
I can't imagine not being there October 24th, irrespective of how I think the marathon for me personally is going to go. I can't imagine waking up the morning of October 25th and realizing that I did not toe the line the previous day.
The runners come in this way off of Ash.
Meryl Leventon is the race director. She's preparing for an unusual race after almost 2 years of uncertainty.
It feels kind of surreal to actually be talking about it right now because we didn't know when we were going to be racing.
There are still COVID precautions to take, no shuttle buses, and runners will be much more spread out at the start. She expects 20,000 people this year, which includes people who are signed up in 2020 and deferred, and also new people who picked up running when gyms were closed.
I'm excited to welcome all these new runners that have picked up this hobby during the pandemic. So I would say the overall level of excitement is higher than usual.
Making up for lost time.
Wendy O'Dwyer has already run a few races this summer. She normally runs several each year and says during COVID, she felt the loss of the starting line.
I wasn't motivated to run. And then when for some reason, they closed off Balboa Park for runners and walkers, which I thought was kind of weird. But because I couldn't run through the park.
Now she's eager for the race, which has lots of entertaining sights from San Diego along the way, from Balboa Park to drag queen cheerleaders in Hillcrest to the Military Mile in North Park. As for Aaron, the legacy runner, he's determined to toe the line, even if he feels a little nervous about being in a big crowd.
I tell my athletes not to get those kind of things stuck in their head because it has a tendency to overwhelm all the psychological adaptations that take place when you're training for a race like this.
He says he'll likely wear a mask at the starting line and then take it off as the crowd thins and runners spread out along the course. Claire Trageser, KPBS News.